There are unseen influences in our lives that quietly shape our spiritual reality, often without our awareness. What if the very place meant to be your refuge and peace has become a silent barrier to your prayers? This message uncovers a powerful truth through the perspective of someone who once operated in darkness, but has now stepped into light. It reveals how ordinary spaces and habits inside your home can unknowingly function as spiritual altars that hinder your connection with God. This is not about fear, but about awakening, understanding, and reclaiming authority over your spiritual environment. There was a time when I did not understand how deeply what fills a home can shape the spirit of those who live inside it. Many people believe that prayer alone is enough, yet they overlook what surrounds them daily. The sounds, the images, and the messages that constantly play in the background are not neutral. They speak, they influence, and they settle into the atmosphere of the home. When entertainment becomes filled with fear, darkness, or impurity, it quietly builds an altar that works against your peace. You may not see it with your eyes, but you begin to feel its weight in your spirit. And slowly, without realizing it, your prayers begin to feel distant. I have seen how homes that should be full of light become heavy because of what is allowed to enter through screens and speakers. What you repeatedly watch does not just pass through your mind, it takes root in your heart. Fear-based stories can plant anxiety, while immoral content can dull your sensitivity to what is right. Over time, this creates a spiritual environment that no longer supports clarity, faith, or connection with God. Instead of lifting you, it drains you. Instead of strengthening you, it weakens your focus and desire to seek Him. This is how an unseen altar begins to form, not built with hands, but sustained through choices. But here is the truth that brings hope. You have the authority to change what fills your home. You are not powerless against what has been established. The moment you become aware, you can begin to replace what harms with what heals. Choose what brings peace, what builds faith, and what aligns with truth. Let your home become a place where every sound and every image supports your spiritual growth. When you remove what contaminates the atmosphere, you make room for clarity and presence. And when that shift happens, your prayers will no longer feel blocked. They will begin to rise with strength and confidence. Guard what enters your home, because it shapes the altar where your prayers are answered. There is a truth many people avoid because it is uncomfortable, yet it carries the power to transform everything. Hidden sin does not remain silent, even when it is carefully concealed from others. It lingers within the heart and quietly affects your connection with God. You may continue to pray, to hope, and to seek change, but something feels restrained within you. That weight you feel is not imagined. It is the result of what has been allowed to remain unaddressed. What is hidden does not lose its power simply because it is unseen. Instead, it becomes an altar that stands between you and the freedom you are seeking. I have seen how people struggle, not because they lack faith, but because they are holding onto what they know they should release. Sin that is ignored begins to shape your thoughts and influence your actions in ways you do not always recognize. It weakens your confidence when you stand in prayer, and creates a sense of distance that is difficult to explain. Over time, it builds a barrier that affects your spiritual sensitivity and clarity. You begin to question why your prayers feel unanswered, why peace seems out of reach. Yet the answer is often closer than you think. resting within the areas you have avoided confronting. But there is a powerful shift that takes place the moment you choose honesty over hiding. When you bring what is hidden into the light, you break the hold it has over your life. There is no chain stronger than truth, and no freedom greater than release. God is not waiting to condemn you. He is waiting for you to open the door and allow restoration to begin. When you let go of what has been weighing you down, you make space for peace, clarity, and renewed strength. Your prayers become bold again, your spirit becomes lighter, and your connection becomes real and alive. Release what is hidden and watch your prayers rise without resistance. There is a power in words that many people underestimate, yet it shapes the very atmosphere of your home. Every conversation, every reaction, and every expression carries weight beyond what you can see. When a home is filled with constant negativity, arguments, and harsh speech, it creates an environment that feels heavy and unsettled. You may try to pray in such a space, but your spirit struggles to rise above what surrounds you. Words do not disappear after they are spoken. They linger and build an unseen altar. Over time, this atmosphere begins to influence your peace, your focus, and your ability to connect deeply in prayer. I have seen how homes become battlegrounds, not because of external forces, but because of what is consistently spoken within the walls. Negative words plant seeds of doubt, anger, and frustration that grow stronger with repetition. When people speak without care, they unknowingly shape a spiritual climate that resists calmness and clarity. This does not happen overnight, but gradually it becomes the norm. You begin to feel tension even in moments of silence, and peace seems difficult to maintain. The very place meant to be your refuge turns into a source of emotional and spiritual strain. And in that condition, your prayers feel weak and distracted. But there is a powerful transformation that begins when you take control of what you speak and allow into your atmosphere. Words have the ability to heal, to restore, and to build a foundation of peace when they are used with intention. When you choose patience over anger and truth over negativity, you begin to shift the entire environment of your home. Speak life even when it feels difficult, and guard your conversations with wisdom. As the atmosphere changes, you will notice a difference not only in how you feel, but in how you connect in prayer. Peace will replace tension, and clarity will replace confusion. Speak life into your home and create an atmosphere where your prayers can rise freely. As you reflect on these truths, understand that your home is more than a physical space. It is a spiritual environment that you have the power to shape. What you allow, what you hide, and what you speak all come together to either strengthen or weaken your connection with God. Nothing changes by chance. It changes by intentional choices made daily. When you remove what does not belong and replace it with what brings life, you begin to reclaim authority over your atmosphere. This is not about perfection, but about awareness and action that leads to transformation. Take responsibility for what surrounds you, and you will begin to see a shift within you. Your prayers will no longer feel distant or hindered, but strong, clear, and full of confidence. Peace will settle where there was once tension, and clarity will replace confusion. The power to change your spiritual environment has always been within your reach. Now is the time to act, to restore, and to align your home with the presence you seek.